Welcome to the $5 Yo channel and our video on surviving a cold craps table, betting that don't come and lay bets. In this video, we will discuss strategies that might help you survive cold stretches at a craps table until the dice come back around the table to hotter shooters. As we mentioned in our 20 winning rules of craps video, you shouldn't ride every shooter at the craps table. Can a craps table get hot for a while and everyone seems to throw well? Yes, at times, but for the most part, you should pick and choose which shooters to bet on and which shooters to bet against. Before we dive into how to survive a cold craps table, I'd like to remind you that if you have not yet watched our video on the 20 winning rules of craps, please do so after watching this video. Feel free to browse our other gambling tips videos on the $5 Yo channel. If you like our videos, please like and comment on the video, and don't forget to subscribe to the $5 Yo channel as we will be adding more gambling tips videos soon. The most important part of winning at the craps table is determining which shooters to bet on and which shooters to bet against. We will be making a video that goes into more depth on this topic soon. But for the purpose of this video, we will go through a couple of quick ways to help you make that determination. Most craps experts typically feel very strongly about their systems. They typically either always bet the pass line and place bets, or they always go to the dark side and play the don'ts. The don't bettors are often particularly passionate about always betting the don'ts. But I feel very strongly that the best way to win at a craps table is to vary your bets based on the shooter. Be judgmental. Make a determination on the next shooter as the bets are being cleared off the table from the previous shooter crapping out. I will often make a comment to my buddy next to me at the table on the next shooter before making a determination. For example, let's say the next shooter has a slight resemblance to Bill Murray. I'll say, "Hey, what do you think about Bill Murray down there?" This usually will get a nice laugh, and we'll exchange a quick thought or two on if we want to play the pass line on the next shooter or not. We will also consider, have we seen this shooter throw before? Do they look confident? Are they nervous? Has the table been hot or cold? Etc. Oftentimes, I like to see how the shooter throws the dice before making a determination to play on or against them. That's a tough call to make since you have to place your pass line bets and don't pass bets before the shooter picks up the dice. In this case, I may sit out the come out roll and watch how the shooter throws. If the shooter has no rhyme or reason about how they set and toss the dice, or they are slamming the back wall with the dice, then it's time to go to the dark side. The most important factor here is how hard are they hitting the wall. The wall is covered with spikes, and hitting those spikes ensures a random roll. Random rolls lead to 7 outs. Since the point has already been set, I cannot place a don't pass bet. My don't bets choice at this point are either the don't come bet or lay bets. Here's where this gets tricky. I can get even money from my DC bets, but I have to get past the first roll. On a don't come bet, you lose on a 7 or 11. You got the feeling that this shooter isn't going to throw very long, or you wouldn't be looking at the DC or lay bets to begin with. So the question becomes, can you survive one roll without a 7? If you believe so, jump on the don't come. If you really feel like this guy's going to flame out fast, then go with the lay bet. The problem with lay bets is that you not only don't get even money, but you're actually getting negative odds. You lay $30 to win 20 on a 5 or 9, for example. But negative odds is better than getting your DC blown up with a 7 on the first roll. If you're willing to risk getting one roll without the shooter throwing a 7, jump on the don't come. The don't come is a self-placed bet. Place your bet directly on the DC if you can reach it. This is where playing at the end of the table can come in handy. If not, ask the dealer to help. Even if you can reach the DC, it's a good idea to let the dealer know that you have placed this bet. Once on the DC, the first roll is critical. You win on a 2 or a 3, lose on a 7 or 11, and push on a 12. Any other number, and the dealer moves your chips to that number. You then need a 7 before that number comes in to win. For example, if the shooter throws a 4, you now have a don't 4. If the shooter throws a 7 before a 4, you win even money. That's much better than the half odds you would get for laying a 4. You would win $15 on a $30 lay 4 bet, for example. However, if the shooter throws a 4 before he throws a 7, you lose. Even money odds are great on the DC bet, a benefit that you earn by risking your money on that first roll on the DC. Another thing to consider if you have a sizable don't come bet, it's wise to place a $5 yo on that first roll. You can still get blown up by a 7, but you take the 11 off the table in terms of hurting you.
Nickel yo.
Should the shooter throw an 11 in this situation, you would lose your don't come bet, but you would win $75 on your $5 yo bet. This bet is insurance to help protect your don't come bet on that first roll. Getting off the don't come is a large part of the battle. Another cool thing about a DC bet is once you move to a number, you can pull it down at any time. Once you get off the DC and onto a number, the odds move to your favor, so the house is happy to let you pull that down. If a shooter is gaining confidence and throwing a lot of numbers, I'll sometimes pull down my DC. I've even been known to switch back from the dark side to the good guys if a shooter is starting to look confident and throwing numbers. Don't be too proud to switch back if the situation dictates. Another reason you might pull down your DC bet is if you land on a number that you aren't comfortable with. Let's say you're on the DC and the shooter throws a 6 or an 8. If you feel like the shooter has a good chance to throw that number before a 7, you can ask not to travel off the DC, or you can pull your bet down. Remember that you can pull it down anytime that you want. You may also choose to jump right back on the DC and hope for a better number. But again, remember you had a little confidence that this shooter was going to throw very long, or you wouldn't be betting the DC to begin with. You're still going to have to avoid that 7 on that first roll. It might be time to take the lower payout and lay a 5 or a 9, for example. The don't come bet and lay bets can be a great way to make money at a craps table. And more importantly, they can be part of a system that varies your bets from shooter to shooter. Knowing when to mix in these bets could help you survive a cold table until it heats back up, and could let you continue to play as the dice move around the table and back into the hands of a hotter shooter. Thank you for watching $5 Yo channel's video on surviving a cold craps table, playing the don't come and lay bets. I hope that you found this video helpful. If so, please like and comment on the video, and don't forget to subscribe to our $5 Yo channel, as we will be adding more gambling tips videos soon. Best of luck, my friends.